What up, y'all? Welcome back once again to the Real Nerdy Review. Your boy is back with a brand new video, and if you're new here, hit the like and subscribe button. So I wanted to take a minute to talk to y'all, man, more about James Gunn, because I see that he basically said when it comes to Peacemaker season 1, I believe everything is going to be canon except for one moment, and I'm pretty sure that moment is going to be the moment that the Justice League showed up, even though we never really saw their faces. Except for, I believe, Aquaman and the Flash. Everybody else's faces are pretty much hidden in the dark. So, my 2 cents is this. I know there's been a lot of confusion going on with the DCU, with basically the transition from the DCEU to the DCU, and what James Gunn is basically planning on doing. And in my opinion, I think James Gunn should have just dropped everything from the DCEU and gave us a fresh start. 100% yes. I understand maybe he has some characters, maybe some actors that he liked from the DCEU that he wanted to transfer over to the DCU. John Cena's Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, Viola Davis. I get that. I really do. But I think it would have been better if James Gunn would have cleaned house instead of keeping the same actors and actresses, because it doesn't really feel like it's a fresh start in so many ways if you're still keeping some of the characters around. And then on top of that, you make some of the stuff canon if it's mentioned, but some of the stuff is not canon if it's not mentioned. It doesn't really make much sense, because it's a trickle-down effect. Because basically, if you make one thing canon, then in some way, it does make everything else canon, because it's a trickle-down effect. Because there was one thing that led to something else, that got us to this big moment. So it just feels weird if James Gunn decides to say, okay, one thing is canon from the DCU, but everything else is not canon. To me, it just doesn't make sense. And this is where I feel like he should have just hit the reset button and started over from scratch. I know it sucks at the end of the day that we are not getting, the former cast back. I'm pretty sure in a lot of people's heart of hearts, they wanted to have the old cast back rather than move forward with a new cast. But at the end of the day, it's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, it's a new coach, it's a new owner, they got a different playbook, they're going to hire who they want to hire. You see it in sports all the time. A new owner comes in, they hire a new general manager, the new general manager comes in, and they pick their own team, their own coach. They want to start fresh with who they want to start with. And that's basically what we're getting with the DCU. We're getting a different thing going on, because nothing in the DCEU really seemed to work. Nobody in the old regime that ran the old Warner Brothers knew what they were doing, knew how they wanted to run the franchise. So James Gunn is coming in and saying, okay, my turn, let me show you how it's done. And this is where I really hope he took some stuff away from Marvel and adapts it to the DCU. Not so much the jokies and the laughs, but just, having a schedule, and everything sounds good from what he's saying, as far as like him choosing to, say, I'm not going to release everything until I have an official script done, ready out the gate, ready to go. That is what I like to hear, because Marvel has been shit in the bed for too long, where they've just been putting out movies and the ending hasn't been done, and then you're sitting there with egg in your face because you're wondering, how did things get so sloppy? Where did things go so wrong? How do we end up here? And you obviously see, because you didn't take your time, Marvel, getting things in play. That is one of the things that James Gunn is doing over here at the DCU that I'm really liking to hear what he has to say, as far as him taking his time and not pushing everything out, just waiting to the end to see what happens. No, we're going to make sure we got all our ducks in a row. Now, obviously, there has been some announcements I've seen people talk about on YouTube, and a little bit of what I've seen on Twitter. I've tried to stay off of Twitter, that James Gunn is having some other projects in the pipeline, which I think is really, really good, because, we want to see the DCU grow. I know he only has a 4-year contract, and everything is riding on Superman coming out in 2025, July 11th. And that is really going to be the start of the DCU. Like I said before, I know we got the Creature Commandos movie coming out next, not movie, but TV show coming out next month. But really, the start is going to be next year, Superman 2025. That's really where it's going to kick off at. And a lot of fans are, amped up. They're excited. Some fans of the DC, not the DC, but just DC in general, they have doubts on what James Gunn is going to do, because they feel like he's a one-trick pony. And in my honest opinion, I don't know. I've seen only his movies that he's done with the MCU, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first two. Still ain't watched the third one. I'll eventually get to it, but I haven't really seen anything else that he's done. But the fact that he has a plan, the fact that he has a direction that he wants to go in, definitely gives me hope. The biggest question mark is a lot of this stuff that he's releasing, nobody really has any idea who these characters are, especially to the casual fan. You're looking at Booster Gold, you're looking at, I think Swamp Thing is in there. There's a lot of casual fans who have no idea about some of the stuff that he is delivering. One of the biggest things that I really hope is that Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav really lets James Gunn cook, really let him cook is what I'm trying to say here, and let him really put out the product that he wants to put out. I really do not want to see no studio interference. I don't believe James Gunn is going to be directing every last single movie in the DCU, so he will have some helping hands by hiring some other directors to come in and help him get this off the ground, which I think is great. But like I said, everything is really riding on Superman coming out next year, because if this movie does terrible, if the movie does not do good, it's going to be bad news going forward for the DCU. And I really hope that James Gunn, and Peter Safran have taken their time and really gotten that, I'm going to just call it the DCU Bible, as good as they can possibly get it, because James Gunn has came out, he has said all the right things, but I really hope that he is able to answer the bell when it comes time to walk the walk, not just time, talk the talk, and really deliver on giving us the best product possible. Because like I said, Superman is where everything is going to start at. Everything is riding on the Superman film. I can't wait to see some of the marketing. I got to get myself some hats, one for Marvel and one for DC. I really like the Superman hat that I've seen people wear. It's just pretty expensive. If anybody want to hook me up, I'll link the cash up eventually. But I really want to believe that James Gunn knows what he's doing. He has a vision for the DCU. And, he's taking his time. Even though he's saying all the right things, he's going to do the right things. Because some of the characters, even the hardcore fans, are really fishy about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Booster Gold, I believe Swamp Thing. I'm trying to think of some other characters that are coming out to the DCU, Mr. Terrific, things like that. I know he's not getting his own movie yet, or a TV show yet, but he is in the Superman movie. And I know there's been a lot of questions as far as what James Gunn has been doing. There's been a lot of pictures shown behind the scenes as far as what James Gunn has been showing. And, we all just got to have our fingers crossed and have faith that James Gunn is going to knock this out of the park. He's going to give us a slam dunk, a home run, whatever analogy you want to use, and he's going to make the DCU something great. Because we all got to have faith that it's going to be something great. Because if it ain't, it's going to be real bad going forward for the DCU. And that's not what I want. I want to see it do good. I want to see James Gunn knock this out of the park. I've said it time and time again. Because if it isn't, it's not like Warner Brothers is going to cut the plug and say, okay, we'll just go back and get the old actors from the DCU. No, it's just going to be a big sloppy mess. There's going to be a whole lot of turnover with the schedule going forward, and we're going to have to see what goes from there. But that is my thoughts on James Gunn in the DCU going forward. Please let me know your comments on my video, and what do y'all think about James Gunn going forward in the DCU? Post y'all's comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll check you in my next video. Thank you for watching.